back to another episode of RawNem. I'm your boy RawMind. Today I got the homie Drae in the building.
What's going on?
He's a comedian from Windsor or from Toronto, right?
Toronto,
from Toronto
originally.
Dude's funny as shit, man. Check his shit out. We're gonna get into this shit. So when did you move to Windsor?
I moved to Windsor for school a long time ago, 2008.
Oh, you've been here for a minute then.
I've been here for a minute.
Okay.
I think I actually been here longer than I lived in Toronto, so I'm probably Windsor man at this point.
Were you doing comedy out there?
Not at all. Not at all. I just I started more recently than not. I started maybe 4 years ago, a little bit after COVID. Right. I started doing TikTok and stuff. I got banned from TikTok actually. So.
Oh, where? Why? What happened?
They didn't like the stuff that I was on. I smoke a little bit. Sometimes.
And you got banned for that? I've been seeing wild ass shit on there.
And that's we can get into the politics of TikTok, but
right.
The little stuff I did, they banned me from it. But that's how I got started. And then when clubs started opening up and things like that, that's when I finally just did stand up. Stand up and been just doing it since and producing shows and been taking it from there.
Well, where did you start doing shows out here?
So in general, I have a cousin who started doing comedy in New York. He was doing it for a while. He told me the first time you do comedy, you go out of town.
Is he a comedian also?
He's a comedian also.
What's his name?
His name is Nick. My older cousin, Nick Chambers, and
okay, we'll throw in his tags in there too.
Throwing his tags. I don't even know if he's still doing it right now, but he is my inspiration. If I'm being honest, if anything, I'll find a picture of him or something, embarrass him. But
funny dude.
He's a funny dude, real funny. But he told me to go out of town. So my first 2 or 3 times, I went to London. I went straight out of town, practice, and then the first time I did a show, my most important show, my first one was I did a show with a guy from Detroit. His name is Josh Adams. He's the guy that you need to put up on this graphic. Josh Adams is absolute killer. He's done Hard Knocks for the NFL. He's done HBO, BET. So I opened up for him, and that was
in London. You're talking about?
This is in Windsor. First time, my first time kind of coming.
Where was that at?
Home at the comedy club, Windsor Comedy Club / Craft Heads.
That's been open that long?
It's been open since they've been open for a while. The comedy club when I did this was 2021 or 22 or something like that. So whenever it was, that was my first time that I made my first $5 was with somebody who's a real guy on the stage, and from then I just kind of took off from there. So
how do those shows turn out?
They're actually sometimes they sell themselves. Honestly, it's comics and people who are kind of rising the ranks. They have to realize a lot of the shows have nothing to. They're you're 1% of the show, right? So people are coming to see him, and I'm in my headspace they're coming to see me. That shit was packed.
Right, exactly.
Nobody cared about me. Nobody cared about me.
Well,
the shows are great.
I do that too. I think it's that's why I work with so many different artists and shit, because then you can gain fans that way.
100%.
You know what I mean? And you never know. You can tap into a whole different genre of fucking whatever you're doing. Comedy for you, music for me. You do shows with rappers on them, right? Those are shows you're running yourself?
Right. So I produce as well. I feel like
you produce what?
Shows in general. I have a production company, so I do just concerts, comedy concerts, just comedy. If you need a wedding, I'll do a wedding, whatever you want. Right. I can do it all.
What's your shit?
My Petty Productions. That's the website. That's just my business. I could do whatever you want. I MC everywhere. So.
Yeah, it seems to me you're pretty funny, dude.
I'm out here.
You seem very comfortable on stage, and I think that's a big thing with comedy. You have to be able to speak to the crowd and shit, right?
Right. Mm-hmm. Through a lot of things, a lot of shows, and a lot of different unique things I've done, I've gotten there. So, but again, one of those things is I've kind of, I don't know if anybody's really, a couple people have done it, but I'm doing a comedy concert, which I start off with a comedy show, a little bit of comedy, quick intermission, and then you got local rappers or whoever that wants to rap.
Who have you had on your shows? Rapping
wise, my first one I did, it was Girk One. Shout out to Girk One. We had Mo Slatty on that, and then headlining was 3 Lakh. I actually got their sweater there. 3 Lakh in the house. So they gave me this merch.
Is 3 Lakh from Windsor too?
3 Lakh's from Windsor.
I don't think I've ever heard of that person.
No, there's three of them. It's a group.
Okay, yes,
it's a group. So it's 3 of them in the group, and I've been to a bunch of.
Are they newer or?
I can't say how many years, but I know I went to a show of theirs before I even started really doing comedy. So around that 20, after COVID kind of time. But I think they actually did a show am I allowed to say this during COVID? Like I might not have even allowed to be there.
Our first the first time we got locked down during COVID, I left the country. I went to Florida.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah, I didn't give a fuck.
Florida didn't give a fuck.
Nobody cared, nigga.
Florida said COVID. What?
I was in a hot tub with people I never even met.
Yeah,
and it was COVID time. I was like, what the fuck am I doing?
Like, here's a split.
Right? Yeah, straight up. It was just like that. It was just like that. So, are you getting a lot of love at your shows?
Honestly, man, it's been like the last couple of shows. I'm not even like, I'm not a bragger guy. I'm a pretty humble guy. Mm-hmm. My last like 3 shows have been sold out, and that's from Toronto. I did a show in Windsor right after the New Year. I went home. I produced my first show in Toronto. These are all straight comedy, and we sold it out. Just a little Legion, a little hole in the wall place. Mm-hmm. And had a bar, so everybody.
Those are probably the best spots to do these kinds of shows at, though, right? You know what I mean? Because 100%. I feel like the fans that come out to things like that are true fans.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. It was a bunch of and people are afraid to talk to their friends and family and tell them to come out. But for your first couple of shows, that's going to be the people who are going to come out.
Definitely,
there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, for
Absolutely sure. Nothing wrong with that. You build your fan base and. A lot of people have that feeling.
You got to start somewhere, right?
Exactly.
Well, I feel like you've surpassed that now. Like, you're the only comedian I know from the city, to be honest.
I appreciate that.
Like, I don't think I've heard of any other ones. Is there any dope ones that I should check out? Or?
So I mean, I guess like the OG, I gotta pay respect to. His name is Paul Montagnier. He is a co-owner of the Comedy Club. Mm-hmm. He put me on that show that I was talking about. Okay. That was that show. A co-owner of the club. His name's Isaac Mulder. He's the co-owner, and these guys are just kind of the guys who.
What is that comedy club called again, sir?
It's Windsor Comedy Club. It used to be attached to Craft Heads.
That's not the Peacock Lounge? I think I've been lying to niggas. I tell everyone that's the comedy spot.
So Peacock is where I did the first comedy concert. So if you identify Peacock with that, that's fine with me. But I think Peacock's gone for real though. But
word?
Yeah.
Is that I think I'm not sure. I think that was the place that I seen they do free comedy shows on Tuesdays or some shit.
That's where Craft Heads is.
Okay. So where's that located at?
They closed, so now they're you know where Fog is? You know Fog?
Yeah.
So Fog right now is the temporary place where all the comedy, the music,
everything. It looked familiar. Your shit did look familiar.
Right.
Yeah. And that's the first stage that I ever rocked, actually.
Beautiful. Like, in a couple weeks. This is a whole thing. Fog and Craft Heads, and the Comedy Club, they're going to be on Erie. They're building a whole new place right now.
Oh, wow.
They're all going to combine in one, right beside Windsor Eats. Mm-hmm. It's going to be one whole venue. So there's going to be opportunities for music. There's going to be opportunities.
There's actually some shit I did want to do at one of these comedy clubs. We'll talk about it after because niggas be stealing. So.
Yeah. That's the comedy game, man. It's like you can't put too much out there.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
So I was watching one of your reels. I think it might have been on Instagram, and you're talking about living in Windsor. It was. I think it was last year winter, and there wasn't no snow and shit outside on the ground.
Yeah.
You're like, this is why I fucking moved here. How you feel about now here?
Well, you know what?
Because it's fucked up, nigga. Fuck the snow.
It is. Fuck the snow. But see, being from Toronto, at the end of the day, no matter how much snow's on the ground here, it's always
10 times worse.
It's always more out there, no matter what. And you know what's crazy? I go home and ignorant ass niggas. They be like, "You brought the cold or you brought the snow with you," and I'm like,
"Oh, you brought that with?"
I'm like, "I'm more south than you."
That's that old white man joke. Like, did you bring this weather?
That's it. Nigga? You know, when it rains, oh, my car gets a wash. Like, fuck that
shit. Right.
Like,
yeah.
Talk to me about some other shit. But
did you like it better in Toronto or like as far as the comedy scene?
So I didn't like when I started comedy out here, and I go out there for comedy, yes, but I can honestly say I'm not as established that I need to be out there to actually like enjoy the same.
Well, there's like millions of people that live there, isn't there?
That's the thing. So it's even like for me having produced a show out there and doing well with that produced show, it's like that still means absolutely nothing because I either got to repeat it or
I don't know if I'd say that. You said you sold out the show, right?
I did.
Nigga, that's pat yourself on the back a little bit. Shit,
I'll do that. But
it's what was you trying to show? Show these niggas your shirt.
This is my homie's shirt, Rich Nobody. Not my homie's company, Rich Nobody. He does a bunch of stuff. He does financial advice, real estate advice. He actually just started a basketball camp, like a sports camp.
Entrepreneur.
He's just hustling, you know. He's just like all of us, you know. He's
Right,
just
no,
hustling. So shout out Rich Nobody. I got a shout. Let me just stand up a little bit. Stand up. Shout out Rich Nobody. They said they couldn't really
that
see
design's
it,
hard
so,
too.
Yeah,
like that.
And one more time, shout out 3 Lakh. I'm not putting on the sweater. It's hot in here. So
it is hot. I'm about to take this hat off, but I'm probably sweating through my do-rag. So.
One more. Shout out Treehouse. I MC at Treehouse too. Like I'm busy. I'm out here. I MC at
Treehouse downtown, right?
Downtown. I do shows there.
I think that's the first time I actually seen you on the comedy scene. Was
at a show or on the Friday?
On just like a promo on
a
Instagram
promo,
or some shit like that. Yeah.
I'm out here.
Yeah, that's dope. Fucking you mentioned that you were in London. How's that comedy scene out there? Because I heard it's dope out there for comedy.
It's actually crazy because a lot of my actual starts, like my
you sparked that up, nigga. Might as well get high on this bitch.
He said, "Nigga, we've been talking way too long to not be smoking some weed." I'm ready. I'm down for this shit.
But yeah, go ahead, sir.
While I talk about London, I would say I'm the first person to ever in Windsor run a comedy show in a dispensary. So once that shit got legal and dispensaries were open,
in Windsor.
In Windsor.
Okay,
I went to Greenlight District. It was used to be at. Right now it's called something different, but it's at Tecumseh and Olette, right, kind of right there, where the Wendy's is.
Yeah, you talking about the fucking native dispensary?
So it used to be called
Greenlight. They got some fire up there, cuz.
Okay,
I was up there a couple weeks ago.
Listen, man, I'll show you some pictures right after this shit. I used to run a whole show out of that bitch.
Say word.
And sell that shit out. And as soon as it was legal, I went to all the dispensaries because obviously I smoke a little bit of weed.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, listen, I'm a weed smoker. I can do some jokes. I just need the space.
Right.
All we need is the space.
Mm-hmm.
And Greenlight, shout out to Tom. He fucked with me.
Shout out to them for
shout out to Tom. Yeah. He fucked with me, and I'll show you some pictures, man. There's one time we got maybe like in that place, it was more open, but like 80 motherfuckers in that shit.
Say word.
Yeah.
It's not a very big. It's like this fucking living room. And man's about this size.
If you maybe put the kitchen attached.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Right. And the crazy thing is, you want to know what's the craziest thing about that whole thing? After a year. Let me tell you this. After a year.
What's this trees?
That's from Sky High Windsor. Say Drae, they'll hook you up. That's some
oh shit, little promo in this bitch.
Listen, my dream is to be like Snoop Dogg and get paid to smoke weed at this point. You know
what
I mean?
That nigga pays. I heard he got he said he pays his roller like 30 G's a month or something like that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
If he can afford that,
sponsor me, nigga.
Yeah.
Sponsor.
Brown, whoever wants to sponsor us, we're out here. That's the basis of my shows. I get sponsors and shit.
Mm-hmm.
But shout out Sky High. Forget what I was talking about.
What's it called though?
I honestly don't even know. They give me a lot of weed.
It tastes good as fuck. I don't be smoking like that no more.
That's what I was actually gonna say. Sorry. High guy mentality. Josh Adams, the first guy who I said when I got my first $5 on that show, I ended up a year and a bit later, paying him to be a headliner at Greenlight District. And that was like one of the best moments. Like it was a full circle moment, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like from
accomplishment for you, right?
I got paid $5 on the show.
You don't want to hit this?
Producers, you good?
Yeah, you guys are more than welcome. These niggas know that there's people behind the camera. You're good.
Yeah, the wall's gone. The wall's gone. Don't worry.
I tried to get them to sit in, but they didn't want to.
So this is the first comedy one. We're gonna crack some jokes. We're gonna make this shit happen.
For sure.
All comics, all rappers, all ball players, all of them wish they were all like.
I think everybody wants to be a comedian. I've written a couple stand-ups myself, a couple 15-minute joints, but I never performed them.
You written a whole 15 already?
Yeah,
off top, man. A couple different 15s.
Yeah. But
I has a whole Netflix special already. He has a whole.
I be talking shit though. That's my thing. I talk all this shit. You know what I mean?
That's the best thing.
And I see a lot of videos now. Like Nate Jackson. I'm assuming, right?
Nate Jackson.
He does crowd work. Fat dude.
Yes. Yeah. He just had a special come out where it's like all crowd work.
Yeah.
Right?
He does one every month. He does one every month.
Okay,
They're all like an hour long at least.
Just pretend that I knew who he was. Just make that.
Right. But yeah, like I see more and more of those crowd work specials, and it's making me want to do it honestly because
I ain't shit.
Like when because I posted my own hip hop shows and shit too.
That's what I'm about to say. But like, so to your point earlier, the reason why people do crowd work shit now is because if you post your regular jokes, people are stealing that shit, bro.
Facts.
Like, and it's a known thing where like there's comics who are.
I was gonna ask you about that because that nigga Cat Williams went kind of hard on that shit.
Again, like I'm not up there to. I will say though, just because of like social media and stuff, and I know I ain't shit. I'll say that straight up. But I've literally had a joke where
I know, nigga, you're pretty funny.
I've never talked to a certain comedian, whoever in my life. Obviously, they never seen my shit. And we have almost identical jokes, and I'm like, "What the absolute?" Fuck?
You know what though? And it feels violating, right? Like this nigga was just in my bedrooms. But yeah, nigga, I fucking
It was a chick. That's fine.
Oh damn, she might have been, nigga. She was in that joke book, nigga. No, I feel that way with my rap too. Like I swear to God, it's happened multiple times that famous artists will say some shit that I just wrote down. It's like, nigga, how the fuck?
Can I go quick conspiracy theory with you real quick?
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like real ones like us, like the hardcore, like local, like in the grind type niggas who are like, yo, I'm starting this shit. This is like my best shit coming from the heart.
Mm-hmm.
Our phones take that shit, and the celebrities subscribe to like what's the local niggas doing right now?
Okay, I'll return you with that one.
So I'm not crazy though, right?
No, because I feel like
too high,
like sometimes right, nigga, right. This is my shit though. I was so excited when you said you wanted to actually do it because it's different from these artists. Because I was just telling my nephew before you got here.
I can rap though.
Oh, you can spit?
No, not at all.
Oh, this.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
We're here now.
Yeah, we're here. Go ahead. Sorry, I threw you off.
You did. I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about.
It's conspiracy theory.
Okay, yeah. Okay, look. I put out songs, right, and then. Like a month or two after, I'll hear my shit on somebody else's song, and I'm
gotta load it up.
Like nigga, you seen my shit?
They gotta load it up.
You took my idea. Like I don't know if you heard of Loiter Squad. It's an Odd Future show. It's like the episode's like 10 minutes long, and we did some shit called the Expansion Show. Me and my crew, and I swear when we put that shit out, Loiter Squad came out right after, and it was pretty similar. Like damn, these niggas kind of hijacked our shit.
Mine is Drink Champs.
And yeah,
I was in university. I was like,
nigga,
it would be fun to watch a bunch of niggas drink and talk.
That's why I do this podcast.
Yeah,
because of Drink Champs and the Trap. You ever seen the Trap?
I haven't seen the Trap, but
85 South Show, fucking DC Young Fly.
Oh, okay, so that's what it's called. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just honestly, man. And again, to go back to Girk One, shout out Girk One. He's gonna be on the show.
Yeah,
March
shout out
8th,
Girk. I had him
March
up
8th
on here
at Turbo. When I watched that, and he was talking, you asked him. Like, who do you listen to, like your influence and stuff? Because you're asking about the whisper rap in Detroit and stuff. And his main answer was, I listen to myself, right? And it's like, for me, I don't listen to my own jokes because I ain't shit, but but I really don't like listen to. I stopped watching like stand up. I stopped watching a lot of like.
Is it so you don't? Like,
so I don't really.
So it's not in your head like
in
that?
In my brain, I know I don't steal shit. But
I do. You know what? I have that feeling too because I write shit. I'm like, hold on, wait. I know I heard that.
Where did I hear that shit from?
Right.
And then you go look at a fucking episode of something that you watch. Like, I think something's funny as fuck. And I go watch Martin a couple days later again. I'm like, that was from the Martin episode. And I was fucking half asleep, and I thought,
right, yeah.
I was sleeping and I wrote that shit. You know, so like,
yeah, even shit that you haven't seen in years, like 20 years. Will still be in the back of your head, and then
it creeps up. Like I used to watch Comic View until I fucking until my eyes bled. You know what I mean? So I was I'm 35.
Okay,
35.
Oh, we're same age then. Yeah,
yeah.
I was watching that shit too. Fuck, what was his name? Lil JJ.
Oh, fucking Lil JJ.
Yeah, nigga, that's when I was watching that.
Lil
Cat
Duval,
Williams was on that shit too, though, right?
Cat Williams, Lil Duval. I remember Lil Duval.
Yeah, Lil Duval was funny as fuck. Yeah,
like, and that's and that's the thing too. Like that's a testament to the grind. Because these people, we can say, I don't know about Lil JJ. I don't know what the fuck happened to him.
He's on Wild 'N Out.
He's on Wild 'N Out now? Okay. Shout out to Lil JJ, I guess.
No, he's not funny.
Like, he had his little
he was
R.
okay.
Kelly joke.
Back then it was fun.
Yeah.
He was a little kid, though, on the show. So he had, like, PG-rated jokes and shit. But on Wild 'N Out, he's
He's
not
basic.
that nigga just high as hell.
Yeah.
So he be rapping and shit.
Can I unshut out though, JJ? Is that if you're gonna take if you're gonna edit some shit out, right? Can I not shout out little JJ? Like
that's funny.
All right. Funny. No, but if he's still out here, but like right, he's still grinding, right? You know what? Like I have this like thought, and it's like the only person I can think of is this one person, and if he listens and watches it, shout out to your show, bro. Lil Zane. Yo, what the fuck is he doing, man?
I ain't seen that nigga since that Hardball soundtrack.
Right. That's and he could be the most prolific writer right now. He could be doing the most. You never know.
You're bugging.
Right. So that was too much. Too much conspiracy.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, that one. We'll edit that one out.
Yeah. No, at the end of the day, though, it comes to grind, though, right? Because you never know.
For sure.
He could be doing something.
I don't even remember what his song sounded like, but I did bang his shit when it was out. I know I did. He had like 2 songs maybe, and then he was on that
think of somebody who could be probably as less successful as him, like in terms of just.
I can't.
Right.
When you said that name, I was like, damn.
Lil Zane,
I didn't know niggas do that.
Strike one. That was him, right?
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I know from him.
Yeah, that's Hardball.
After that,
I just watched that movie the other day. That's what made me think of that.
After that, it's like, hey, what were you doing after that? You might be working at Macy's or some shit.
Right.
All right.
Well, I don't know. Fucking, he has to have fucking.
He doesn't have to have anything.
Yeah, you're right,
though. We have Google. I've actually thought of this for way longer than I should have, and I've never actually looked up like what the fuck he's doing right now.
But all right, so you mentioned your cousin is one of your inspiration, or is your biggest inspiration.
100%.
Who are some other comedians that you fuck with? Who's your favorite comedian?
All-time favorite comedian. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, so if I'm just like going off, you said that Steve Harvey has always been like my favorite.
I think he slept on because he's like PG now. You know what I mean? Exactly. Back in the day, that nigga was funny.
Exactly,
fuck, bro.
And that's the thing. Like now, he's kind of like super. I guess you could say like he's commercial, and he's super into like he's romantic
like family
shit,
type shit,
the family type shit. But hey, I get to the point where I'm doing what I gotta do, and you gotta pay me to switch up my lane a little bit, and that's I think that's what he is. And basically the Kings of Comedy. If you basically the Kings of Comedy are kind of like
is that your favorite comedy special?
It's probably my favorite comedy special. Like I used to watch that shit over and over.
Yeah,
and it's like
I don't think I know every single joke. I still laugh at the bitches too, 100%. And act like I don't know them and shit.
And that's another thing about comedy, and it's different with music because like you can listen to a song over and over and over, but if you think that a joke is funny and you hear it more than 3 times, certain jokes you'll be like he's telling the same jokes over and over, and it's like why? Because like you're just not as good or as polished as like the perfect song or the perfect like joke. You know what I mean? Because we could watch a movie or a show or a stand-up special over and over and over, know the jokes coming, know how he says it, and say the whole thing and laugh every time. It's like you come to a local show and you'll laugh at that shit first time, won't laugh at it again. You know what I mean? And that's where the grind and all that shit comes in, writing and polishing shit up. So
I've definitely heard jokes that from comedians I've listened to forever that are still doing shit that they did before, like back in the day too. You know what I mean?
And you got it. Like sometimes a good joke's a good joke, man.
Right?
Like, you gotta. I'm still telling the same jokes. Like my first time that I sat down and wrote some shit down, I'm still telling that like some of those jokes because I put my heart and soul into that shit, and that shit's funny, you know? So,
yeah.
It's just one of those things. You go to a show and you hear it all the time. Like
how many minutes do you do when you do the shows?
I host a lot because of my company, so it's usually just to know that I can provide at least 10 minutes of good comedy to start the show.
Yeah,
I usually host, but I could probably do a decent 15 if I really wanted to. You know,
that's dope.
So I'm starting to get into that now. I'm going into about year 4 or so. Getting booked and going to other cities
and you know, I'm sure you have more like loyal fans that come to all your.
I'm actually at the point now where I'm really just getting a lot of outside people, and I'm getting into like the marketing shit where I can kind of say, hey, I don't know you, but come out or you're coming out, and I say, hey, how did you see this? And it's like my ads that I put up, or
Yeah.
Me just like how you
Yeah, I be watching them bitches. Yeah, I be
come
watching
up.
them. I seen the one in the barbershop.
Right. That was
the one with Girk, and he turned around in the chair.
And I got that shit running.
Nobody does that here. I promise you that nobody does shit like that in Windsor.
I'm putting ads out, and people they'll see me like, hey, I know you from here. I'm like, where do you know me from? They don't even remember. And I'm like, hey, whatever it is, you know me, you know. So come out to the show.
So okay, you said Kings of Comedy is your favorite special.
That's got to be my favorite special. I would say so. Back to that. So okay, let me get the list. Sorry, you want top 5 or top 3?
That's 5. That's what I'd be doing a top 5 on here. I was just about
top 5. Okay, I'm gonna go with Steve, and I really, you know what, Steve Harvey. I'm probably gonna go Steve Harvey.
Like, is this in order?
Can I not do it in order? So
yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Ooh, okay. Steve Harvey's in there. Bernie's in there. Cedric's got to be in there.
So just the Kings of Comedy.
The only reason why DL's not in there, he's super political, man. DL.
I don't think that nigga was. They could have left him off. My
nigga. All right. So
you feel me?
if DL's watching,
I didn't mean to do that.
DL's the most active. That's all right.
Don't do that.
Shout out to DL Hugh. When you watch this,
he is funny. His show was funny.
Yeah, Chappelle's got to be on there because he's a fucking gold.
Okay, good.
Chappelle's on there, and then who's my 5th? Oh, Mike Epps, I think, is probably Mike. Like, and honestly,
that's a good list, though.
And honestly, you can probably take out, if you wanted, Cedric off, like, just because he is. But I would put I
used to think he was the funniest one on that one, but I think it's Bernie though.
Cat Williams, like, is up there in terms of actual stand up. Like, I feel like stand up and being on TV and stuff like that, sometimes that shit gets mixed. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
Cat Williams is like a performer. You know, like I gotta put 6. I'll put 6.
Yeah, that's Cat,
I gotta throw Cat. I gotta throw Cat in that shit. Like Cat's my man. Cat and Mike.
That's a good list.
Yeah,
for sure. But I didn't mean comedians, though. I meant comedy specials.
Oh, comedy specials. Like
I just looked over and I was like, hold on, that's not what I was supposed to ask.
So the actual names of the special. Okay, so Kings of Comedy. The Mike Epps one, when he said Obama smokes grape swishers and his mouth his lips are black because of that.
That nigga has so many, I don't know.
Bro, whichever one that one was, I think it was in Detroit. Detroit, bro. I think it was at the Fox Theater. He said Obama smoked so much grape swishers that's why his lips are black.
Wow.
Whichever one.
I've for sure seen that though.
Oh,
that sounds familiar.
I remember not being able to breathe for 40 minutes during that shit.
See, I think Mike Epps is funny in movies.
Exactly.
His comedy isn't. I like it, but it's.
And that's the difference, right? And that's why it's like specials versus comedians versus whatever. Like, to me, like, I break it down that way.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not even that deep, to be quite honest. I'm just like, Mike Epps is not my favorite comedian, but that special is probably one of the best.
Mm-hmm.
Like that one and the Cat Williams. Fuck, I didn't even talk about Eddie Murphy or nothing.
That's what I was gonna say. I was waiting for it. I was waiting for you to finish your fucking list. I'm like, nigga, you ain't never seen Delirious, motherfucker?
There's a lot of shit that we're gonna need to like edit my ass. No, I'm joking. Eddie Murphy's definitely in that bitch, so we're gonna have to.
And for what it's worth, that one's funny. I think all the every Chappelle specials.
Eddie Murphy and Raw are probably funnier than most of everything that I said here, so I have to revisit that.
I've been telling them jokes to my kids to this day.
Can it be like Family Feud when you come back to the questions after the?
We'll get to put the list up.
We'll do that at the end. Yeah. Bing.
Yeah.
This nigga didn't say Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, Eddie Murphy.
You're gonna cut it when I didn't say Eddie Murphy. No, Eddie Murphy for sure. I can honestly say I respect like Richard Pryor, like what people are. But I didn't watch much of Richard Pryor.
I've only seen Live on the Sunset Strip, and it's funny, and I can see where Eddie Murphy definitely got his jokes from, and a lot of comedians from the '90s. I can hear them in Richard. For sure.
Eddie Murphy's definitely up there, 100% though. I'll think about it a little bit.
That nigga fell off though. I wish he would do a new special. And if they did, how would it sound?
I think I'm pretty sure I remember him being on a talk show, and he's literally like, "Yo, it's just not gonna be as funny as Delirious or Raw." Mm-hmm. And if you really think about it, it won't be. It won't be. Like, even Coming to America.
That's what 2, I'm saying. Yeah.
I thought Coming to America 2 was funny.
It's funny, but it's not the first one.
It's not the first one, and it's like,
It kind of seems like the same movie, just in Africa.
He gave us 2 already with the Raw and the Delirious, and we were like, "Yo, that's 2." They were like, what, 2 years back to back, maybe, or maybe it was like
they got to be close to
and
each
91.
other.
They were close.
Yeah, they were close. For
right?
Sure.
He was still wearing leather in that bitch, so they were still in fashion. But
if you've never seen those, watch them bitches.
Yeah,
those are some of the funniest fucking stand-ups I've ever seen.
Of life. But yeah, man. I think it's just it comes down to quality and what people nowadays expect and kind of attention span, things like that, right? I don't even think a lot of people will watch stand-ups, but how long are stand-ups nowadays? Like probably 30 minutes, and I see a lot of them, they're like clips, right? Like individual clips.
That's what I watch too on YouTube and shit like that.
I don't know if anybody's watching the whole Delirious or Raw. I wish they would.
Do you have new comedians right now that you like?
New comedians I like, honestly, and these are guys who I've like met or not met once or twice, but like real ones kind of bigging me up on social media and even literally give me advice just because they know the grind. Dino Archie, Nitish from Toronto, Nitish Tajika. I'm sorry if I said that wrong. Mr. Luen, he's out here, meme god in Toronto. A lot of the guys from Toronto, from Windsor, like I said, Paul, Isaac, a lot of those guys. But the guys who I said before, they're kind of blowing up. They're all on tours right now and shit.
They're all Windsor dudes?
They're not Windsor dudes. They're from Toronto. I met
That's my respect that you do that for people that you know. But I mean, like
Windsor
that you see on YouTube and shit. Like
on YouTube. They're actually at the point where they're kind of like there now too, right? So to that point, I'll say Dave Merhej. He's from Windsor. He's actually in movies and he has Netflix specials and he's from Windsor. I did a show with him at the Crester Theater in what was it, October? In like last October, I did a show with him. He's from Windsor actually, and he has multiple like actual Netflix shows and movies and things like that. So he's an absolute killer. He lives in LA now, I think.
What's his name?
Dave Merhej. You know Blanche? You know Blanche, the club?
Yeah.
Blanche, the nightclub?
It's called something else now, right? Turbo or something?
No, Blanche. Turbo is a thing, but
I thought that was the same place, and they be changing the name of that club all the time.
I'm sorry. Where's that?
Got it.
No, Turbo's still Turbo, but Blanche is upstate. Either way, his brother is that comedian that owns the place. Right?
Okay.
So it's all good.
I like I don't know any comedians, like local comedians, but you ever heard of Sidney Castillo?
Where's he from?
I think Texas, but he's in LA now.
Okay.
He's funny as fuck. There's a lot of them I can name.
I know Jesus Castillo, I think, and it's a lot of people who I realized or who I see from other places was like that COVID phase when people had to be just online and stuff, and a lot of things just kind of popped up from there, and you kind of were behind the camera in a different way, and a lot of people were doing skits and stuff, and that's how they got their stuff off, and it's a lot of people who you met that way. So I don't know those guys, but it kind of reminded me of how a different Castillo kind of remembered. So,
well, you said you did shows in London and Toronto? Those are the only places you've been? You didn't do any shows in Detroit yet or anything?
I did a show in Flint with this guy behind the camera. We drove to.
Are you comedian as well?
No, he's just my road dog. My road dog. So so this is it was like a weed room. It was basically like a place where you can just go. Like, I don't know the rule. I don't know the legality of Flint, but it was just a place where it's like go smoke in there, bring your stuff or buy it possibly in the place. I don't know. But we're lighting up and we're drinking and we're chilling. Now, when I tell you this place was about 100 niggas just hotboxing the place, that was the show, okay? And it's not that I wasn't like ready for the show. It was I walked in and I was like, yo, what am I doing right now?
That sounds dope.
It sounds dope as
fuck.
Like some shit I want to be sounds dope as a person who's hotboxing the place, expecting some comedy. I was like, yo, this is not what I was expecting, bro. So I did about 5 or 6 minutes.
How'd that go?
I'm gonna say there was a good minute in there, a good minute or so. I got off stage, enjoyed the vibe a little bit, and I got my ass out of there. I call that day the bomb and rob, because I didn't want to bomb on stage and get robbed afterwards. You see those Ontario plays, and someone had none to lose. But no, we didn't. We were good. I got up out of there. But I do shows in Flint. I do a couple shows in Detroit and shit, and a lot of shows in between too. I do a lot of shows in between here to Toronto. So like Chatham, Sarnia, London. In between, I do a lot of shows in between there. So just trying to build,
What are some of the shows you got coming up?
Shows coming up next week, March 8th at Turbo. That's the comedy and concert. Me, Skyhunt, Isaac Mulder doing comedy. Coleman, Girk1, and Haskell. They're all going to be doing the concert part of it at Turbo. That's at March 8th at Turbo. Starts at 8:30. March 22nd, I got a show at Sidelines. That's my monthly show I do at Sidelines in the East. So that's my...
Oh, yeah, that's just right up here.
Right up there, yeah. I said this way like I'm still at my house. Nah, it's that way, yeah. Every month I do a show at Sidelines. I'm trying to bring comedy to the East. There's not too many shows in the East in general. So trying to do that. And every couple months or weeks I do shows at Treehouse sometimes too. So that's all I got right now.
You say you do them every month at Sidelines, right?
Every month at Sidelines, yeah.
That's dope. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check out one of your shows.
Gotcha.
When's the next one?
March 22nd, Sidelines. I got Paul Montagnier. I got a lot of people on the show. I'm a little bit twisted. I can't think of a lot of people on the show, but it's booked. It's booked. It's on Eventbrite. It's there.
So you put on a lot of people from the city.
From the city, and I try to put on a lot of people. My whole thing is I try to do like a local emphasis. I try to make sure that like the show itself is a good show, whether you get prizes or whether it's a good DJ or whether the comics, I try to make sure it's good in that sense. And people don't understand that, people who are famous, they all got to come from somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And I try to put those people on. Like I'll put people from the States who are just like, right about to pop. They're at that level or a little bit below, and they need that time. Someone's got to give you that 45 minutes to cook. You know what I mean?
Sure.
You got to practice that. So that's what I do for my shows. I really have a good local emphasis, and I can put on shows at different places, but I try to focus on the places where it's like, yo, they mess with me. They've been loyal to me.
What is your goal then?
My goal is just to honestly I feel like this is how long you've been in Windsor? Even your whole life?
Yeah.
Pretty much?
Yeah.
I feel like, not to unite Windsor, but I feel like there's only a couple dots that need to be connected where everybody can eat out here, man. Like
100%. I've always believed that too.
I feel like, honestly, man, like, and again, I keep bringing up the last interview with Girk1. You were talking about his connections and stuff, and it's like he has connections out there. It's whatever. Like, it's only like if you get a little diamond of people, like a marketer or this or that or that.
Yeah, it's a team. You definitely need a team.
A good little team. Like, and that's not necessarily my goal, but I feel like in order to pop in Windsor, you need to have that, whatever it is, and a couple people, they start fucking with you, and that's what it is. And I've always been a genuine guy. I pay my people up front.
But that's all you want out of comedy is just to help Windsor out?
In comedy in general, no. As a comedian, because I'm a comedian and producer, right? So I produce shows comedy-wise. If I can blow, I'm going to blow. Producing-wise, if I can end up doing shows at the Air Canada Center, whatever it's called now, I'm going to do that. So I got both realms kind of going, but it starts somewhere, I guess. And that's why I did the show in Toronto, produced it a couple months ago or this month. And
are you interested in acting and shit too?
100%. Whatever it takes. Dope. At this point, whatever it takes. And to that
if you could do a movie with somebody who
a movie?
Yeah, or a show or something. Who would you want in that show?
To be honest, right now, like, just because where I'm at, like, Haha Davis.
Yeah, my bad. I should have told you. Oh, that nigga's a trip.
Haha Davis. Yeah, man. Like, right now, just because of the Detroit shit.
Yeah, but what I meant though is like you want to if you could remake a movie and star in it with.
Oh, if I can remake them Friday. Probably next Friday. I literally have this written, not written because I didn't write it, but what I would do is I'm gonna be Ice Cube, my brother. You wouldn't if you see my brother right here, you would think he's my brother. He looks like Michael Blackson, okay? He looks like an African. we call him friggin' Cambodia is what we call him, basically. Anyways. And friggin' so that scene when he's like, how am I supposed to get jiggy with this shit to this shit? You know that one?
Yeah.
Specifically that scene, but that whole movie, that's a movie I would remake 1,000%. Yeah. All the Fridays. If I can remake all the Fridays, I'd be happy.
Yeah. I can see you as Smokey.
I'd be all of them. I'd be like Austin Powers. I'll be all the fucking characters.
They're actually making a new one.
New Friday?
Yeah. It's been confirmed.
As they should.
But everyone's like, half the original cast is dead.
They're all dead.
Yeah.
They're gonna AI that shit. That's gonna be weird. That's gonna be weird soon, man.
AI's fucked up, nigga. I don't even know what to believe anymore.
That's gonna be a whole nother hour right now.
Right.
You cannot.
About to dive into a whole other fucking topic.
I'm scared of that.
Yeah,
shit.
man. I appreciate you coming through. Fucking.
Oh yeah.
Let them know where they can get your shit.
You get me on Instagram. You know what I'm about. The letter U. Then no KNOW. What I'm about. It's complicated, but if you want to find me, you can find it.
I'll put a tag
put a little thing that goes.
Put a tag.
It's like a little magic shit. You know, maybe some smoke. I don't know. Drae on Facebook. If you want to find me, you're gonna find me, man. I'm out here, man. Windsor, I love y'all. Treehouse, shout out Treehouse. I got my Treehouse hat on too. We're out here. Thank you for this, man. I truly
appreciate you, dude.
Thank you.
Good looking out. And I'll catch y'all niggas next time.
Yeah. And hey, Crown Royal, sponsor us, Crown Royal. Or blur the shit out.
Whatever. Next time.